Hello and welcome to another update video about Polkadot. Polkadot continues to hover just below our resistance area that we identified in the previous videos. This Fibonacci resistance area starts at $7.17. We also have $7.48 and $7.95 as next resistance levels, all within the same range, and also they are all relevant for the current wave count. We're dealing with a situation in which the wave counts that are presented in the previous video are still both valid. The market really, it's boring. It's really boring. So I mean, there's really nothing interesting at the moment about the dot chart, unfortunately. So they are the worst updates when there is not much more to report, because essentially the market continues to move in a range, and there isn't really much that we could use here, with any TA method that would really give us more guidance or anything. I think we have as much clarity as we can get. The idea is still that in the yellow wave count, which is the more directly bullish one, we so far have only formed 3 waves up in a so-called expanding diagonal pattern. It's a bit of a hopium count, I have to say, because there's really no evidence that this is what's happening. It is a possibility, yeah, and it's probably the second most likely count after the white one, but the probabilities are fairly balanced here on this chart. So looking, for example, at the dot chart, we had a wave 1, which topped in November. We had a wave 2, which bottomed also in November, and then a third wave rally that was quite substantial into the December highs. Many coins found a local top in December. Then a very deep wave 4, actually a little bit too deep to be reliable in a wave 4, but if it's really an expanding diagonal, then it is absolutely okay. But expanding diagonals are rare, so I don't necessarily trust it. It's simply a potential I'm tracking, I'm considering, right? I've got this count under consideration. It's not that I predict this is going to happen, but I'm tracking what would need to happen to at least confirm that a low is in place in wave 4, because the wave 4 in this count would already be in, and the price would have bottomed probably around $6, and we could now be moving up in this 5th wave to the upside. Target for the 5th wave might be worth reminding everybody. There are a few ways of how targets can be calculated. One way would be just to take the length of the wave 1, then we go to the low of the wave 2. And in terms of Fibonacci extensions, because the 3rd wave reached the 1.236 extension, the 5th wave possibly could reach $10.89. That's the 1.618 extension. $10.89, that would be absolutely acceptable. Possibly up to $13.20, which is the 200% extension. That would be a reasonable target range for the yellow count. However, we won't really know until later if the yellow count is working out, in which we're dealing with a leading expanding diagonal, or the white count, in which also obviously a 3-wave top formed. I mean, the 3-wave top is a given, yeah, and we're getting a deeper wave B pullback. So A wave up in 3 waves, A, B, C in wave A, then we're basically now in this B wave pullback, which would be a W, X, Y structure. And we're basically now moving down in the Y wave, and the Y wave consists of an A wave and the B wave and the C wave. And for this B wave, we have the resistance area, which is located between $7.17 and $7.95. The expectations would be at the moment that the price comes down a little lower into the support area. This would be my preference, just because honestly, a leading expanding diagonal, is valid, and it's something I'm considering, but I just don't have the evidence for it at this stage. So I'm still watching potentially for another low. I find that a bit more likely. That would change that perspective with a sustained break above $7.95, because then we're breaking above the standard resistance for a B wave, okay? Even this B wave could still stretch a little higher, but above $7.95, it would be larger than ideal, that B wave, even though B waves don't really have a target. But above the 78.6 retracement, I think probabilities start to shift towards the wave count in yellow. in which we're dealing also with the small leading diagonal again, or there are actually different options that could play out here, because it's making it even more complicated. The fact that obviously also the B wave could have bottomed here, right? I mean, it's not that if we make another low, I wouldn't call it anymore a diagonal. Then it's the ABC in the white count. But if we go up from here, it could be a wave 4 low or the B wave low. But does it really matter from a practical standpoint? No, absolutely not. It just makes it difficult to determine what kind of structure is developing here. So, don't look for absolute precision. This count is a big mess. And it's not giving us really a clear edge at this stage. If anybody wants to trade the upside, I think a reasonable approach would be to set a stop loss below the last swing low, which was here around $6.58. But it's not that we have a great edge here, or it's a great wave count, or it's not that an uptrend is confirmed on multiple degrees, or we have a super clear 5-wave pattern. No, it's really an absolute mess, this count. But as long as we're holding below resistance, I think another move down into support is likely. But also please be aware that, we have 2 wave counts and one allows for one more low. Think about what that means for your portfolio and your trading. If you're trading this mess, I mean, it really is a mess. But it also indicates that at the moment, if you paid attention, then you'll know that. And everybody who obviously has been watching these videos for a while, who's been with us for a while, you know that both wave counts are basically bullish, okay? I think that's a very important consideration, very important finding. Both are bullish at the moment. I would only change my perspective with a sustained break below $4.40, because that's the 78.6 retracement on the chart. A break below that level will probably unlock new bear market lows. But honestly, I hope something happens. I mean, I don't mind, either way. I just wanted to break finally, and that we can carry on here with to basically talk about something different, because at the moment it really is extremely boring. I'm sure you would agree. So that's my update about DOT. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.